Listen, I don't know why I find this so insulting.
Uh-oh.
But when Dan Hurley goes back-to-back at UConn in such impressive fashion, when they just go ahead and crush it in back-to-back fashion,
everyone in their
dominating in back-to-back fashion.
Ridiculous.
He gets asked, what about Kentucky? You know what I mean? And this is kind of from I don't mean to be disrespectful here.
Go ahead.
But I'm going to throw me in this thing too here. It's kind of like, why wouldn't you want to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to be, why wouldn't you want to be the head coach, the manager of the New York Yankees?
Yep.
The Yankees haven't won a World Series title in
14.
A decade plus.
Yeah. 14, right?
The Dallas Cowboys, I mean, they have a rich tradition, your team and mine.
True. Factual.
And there is a cachet that comes with it and an attention that gets paid and a spotlight that gets thrown, right? But, put it all together and what have they won? And he's won where he is. And it's not just a spot that he's just kind of helped spark either. And part of the many reasons why she has received a proper amount of hosannas, okay, Caitlin Clark has done it in Iowa where they're not used to having this level of sustained success. But Dan Hurley's done it in UConn when he took over for Kevin Ollie, and we understand that Kevin Ollie, left under circumstances that
won a title at his first.
But he did win a title.
Yeah.
And then Jim Calhoun set a stage, and Jay Billis said last hour, that since 1999, you got 6 championships, and nobody comes close to it.
Not even close.
And those 6 championships are as many as North Carolina's ever won. And you're 2 behind Kentucky. And obviously you've got UCLA in front with the John Wooden era boosting that insane number of championships.
You think of traditional basketball powerhouses, you see they're now ahead of Duke and Indiana.
So afterwards, Dan Hurley was asked about Kentucky through a very circuitous way.
I hope I don't misquote you, but you said out on the court something about UConn giving you all the resources you need. Can we interpret that to mean you intend to be back at UConn next year? You're not going to entertain any conversations with anybody else that might have a job coming open tomorrow?
Yeah. I don't think that's a concern. My wife, you should have her answer that.
His wife's from New Jersey, Mike.
They actually went to college together.
Who did?
His wife and Danny.
Okay.
They met at my
they played at Danny played at Seton Hall.
Alma mater.
Okay.
Seton Hall University, yes.
So,
I traveled with Danny.
Jersey girls don't like, many of them don't like leaving New Jersey.
No. They stay there. Trust me.
And interestingly enough, Dan Hurley put a few more stories on the tree here about his wife being from Jersey, telling Pete Thamel, quote, "Oh my God, Kentucky or anywhere that's going to take her further from New Jersey. I mean, we just went to Rhode Island, which I had to drag her to, and then to Connecticut. I got her closer, and now further. I can't afford a divorce right now. I just started making money."
That is an epic response.
That's amazing.
And then he added, "Now you're thinking in your brain as I'm looking at the locker room about the chance to do it 3 times, like a dynasty in modern times. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about."
Yeah.
I just started making money.
I can't afford it.
Dan Hurley, man.
Can't afford a divorce. Cheaper to keep it, Mike.
Well, then we can officially take this story and lay it down, put the covers on it. It is now
You keep
gone to
doing
bed.
you, man.
Yeah, stay there.
You keep doing you.
But we also know money does talk, and I'm sure Kentucky can back the bridge truck up.
Listen, now, I kind of alluded to this at the top of the show, and then we spoke to Jay Billis, and Jay, as always, gives me something to think about that I wasn't already thinking about. And his answer was, down the road, when college athletics gets totally blown up essentially by the Supreme Court and everything else that's happening right now, and the whole concept of the way we know athletics is going to be completely blown up at the collegiate level, and that players are going to have a heck of a lot more power and leverage than they currently have, that things like facilities and things like NIL and what money you're able to pay players are going to start to matter a heck of a lot more, and a program like Kentucky basketball will be more moneyed than UConn basketball. And he has to start factoring that into his thinking, although perhaps not yet. That's when I followed up and asked Jay, would you advocate him leaving right now? And then he said, no, but I would advocate using it as leverage to get more money from UConn.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
And I imagine UConn's like every other major collegiate powerhouse, which it is in athletics, for sure. There's got to be somebody who went there who's insanely wealthy that doesn't want Dan Hurley to leave and will actually be able to look their spouse in the face and say, we're going to spend all this money to make sure Dan Hurley doesn't leave. There's got to be somebody there, right?
Yeah, I'm looking up richest UConn alumni. Hold on a second.
I mean, every school knows who these people are. I mean, mine has his name all over the law school, I mean, the business school, pardon me. At Michigan, there's somebody I keep hearing about at Columbus whose name constantly rings in my ear over and over again. You hear about that.
Yeah.
Isn't there a guy who sells scrap metal up in Syracuse, Chris?
There's a few people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't mean to. Am I touching on like a third rail here? I don't know.
There's a few people.
Meg Ryan.
Who?
Meg
Ryan.
Meg Ryan went to UConn?
Wait,
really?
Notable UConn alumni.
Wow. So, Danny Hurley, you've got mail.
Hey.
Huh? Inside it is a fatter paycheck. I don't know if you're going to turn to Meg Ryan and say, can we make sure Dan Hurley doesn't go to Kentucky?
Moe's got some cash. He's still DJs.
But, in all seriousness, Kentucky has 8 titles all time. UConn has 6 since 99, and you've got 2 in a row with what you've built yourself, and you are a machine right now. Why the hell would you leave?
Yeah.
Why would he go anywhere? Why would he go to Kentucky where things are, haven't worked out for Coach Cal, who, by the way, knows how to coach.
50 NBA players.
You know what I mean? He knows talent. That's what I don't get. Adolph Rupp's not walking through that door. Neither is the guy who I'm paraphrasing right now.
Maybe not.
Come on. I saw Richard Pitino is on the list of favorites to go to Kentucky.
I saw Rex talking about it yesterday.
Yeah,
so,
he loves Coach Cal, and he's defending how Coach Cal's able to walk his dog and not be harassed.
Well, yeah, I
his
tweeted
decision.
Rex, who do you want? Who would you want?
Right.
And
he hit you back?
Yeah, literally the first name
Rex.
he wrote was Rick Pitino.
Is that right?
Dwayne Casey, Kelvin Sampson, Billy Donovan, Scott Drew. He had Richard Pitino, Shaka Smart. He's like, tough job, got to be built for it. Rick Pitino, first name he wrote.
What's old is new again?
Could you imagine?
Maybe you need to get Rex on this program again. He must have a paperback he's ready to sell.
Updated version.
So.
Somebody.
I don't. That's why. That was my first 2 cents. Again, why would he go to Kentucky? Yeah. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.